One of the key themes in the book is called the roadmap. You might actually want to call it an approach or a method or a life cycle for change. But the key thing about it is that I have shown how you can take any change initiative and break it down from the original idea into all of the component parts or elements till you get to the end when it's finally all done. The key thing about it is that by breaking it down into small pieces, you can be much clearer about what work's involved, how long you're going to spend on it, and what you expect to occur at the end. Now, some of the big transformational changes that run in organisations are made up of lots of different elements. Sometimes there's organisational change, sometimes there's restructuring, there are new processes that are created, new systems are brought in, sometimes there's even a move to a different location. The key thing about having a roadmap is that you look at what is expected from your change and you chunk it into pieces and you say, right, this week or this month, this is what we're going to focus on. So we've used some very agile techniques, one of which is about having broken it down into a chunk. We're looking at something called a time box. With a time box, we're saying, right, we're going to form a small team that's going to concentrate on this one particular aspect of the change. We're going to decide up front how long we're going to spend doing it, which might be 2 or 3 weeks, it might be 4 or 5 weeks. But we're very clear at the end of those few weeks exactly what would have been achieved. We know who we would have impacted, and we can be absolutely clear by giving them a deadline. We can say to everybody who's affected, right, from this date, things will be new for you. So by this date, we need you to have read the background material or gone on the training course. So by doing this, you're keeping your change full of lots of focused initiatives where everybody understands what's expected of them. It's not a very long timeline where people get lost or think, oh, I can get round to this next week, I can get round to this next month. We're actually keeping things very focused. And in this way, we build up a momentum to our change because we have that initial success, the first 4 or 5 weeks, we've done something, everybody can see that we've done something, and then we're on to the next time box where we're going to do exactly the same thing again. Now, one of the big advantages of using this kind of roadmap is that what we're doing very early in the life of our change and throughout our change is we keep delivering things so that we're delivering benefits. We are giving people improvements from the very early start of our change. In that way, sometimes those improvements help to pay for later parts of the change, but definitely they build support for the change. They give the impression that there is progress, that it's not just being talked about, that things really are starting to be different. And I know from experience that that can change the entire level of motivation and engagement and general happiness around the fact that change needs to happen. It's no longer just something that we're not sure what it is, but we're starting to see very tangible effects very early on in the life cycle, so people understand what's expected. So for me, the roadmap was a crucial thing to explain. What I've also done in the chapter is given checklists of what you might expect to have in the roadmap when you create your own. So I've laid out an example, but of course it's fully tailorable, so you can create one that works for your change. So hopefully you find that helpful.